you touched on the very big and very important word of purpose. I think today, in business, certainly, and it wasn't the case, I think, when we started our careers a long time ago, but today in business and all aspects of life, people talk about purpose underpinning their choices, underpinning their motivations, underpinning, which company they join, etc., etc. How can people find their purpose today, in your view?
Yeah, I mean, there's a quote by Goenka about the Buddhist teacher Goenka, Burmese teacher Goenka, about what is right livelihood. And in a way, purpose is a little bit like, what is right livelihood? What is the way to live rightly in this world? Which is one of the 8 aspects of the Noble Path. And he says, if you are taking activity which supports yourself, both supports yourself and is helping others, then you're living in a right way. And so we do have to have that balance, both recognizing that we should take care of our own being in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, etc., and always be helping others. And if you can get to the end of the day and think, yeah, I gently took care of myself today, I didn't harm myself with my anger or my speech towards others, I didn't harm myself in that way, and I helped others, then you can rest easy knowing that, that is the purpose. There is no other purpose. Because sometimes you can search for purpose here, there, and everywhere. But I think for me anyway, I don't know how it sounds to you, Dee, but in that simple way, I think that provides a clarity in that area.
Totally. It's what you said is very beautiful and very simple and very profound. And I think we can overcomplicate and almost have a roadblock because we're looking for some bigger story. But it's a life choice. It's a day-to-day choice, isn't it? It's a minute-to-minute walking down a certain road with a certain approach and a certain philosophy, which is intrinsic to who we are as human beings. It's about, the inside reflecting the outside as well, and I think there is a lot of, I'm a linguist by training, and I think there's a lot of language around sense of self, and there are a lot of, what I would call sort of slightly faux self-help, concepts out there. But what we're talking about here is something, in a way, profoundly simple and beautiful and much more fundamental in terms of choice about how one lives one's life. And it reminds me, we do have choices, don't we? Sometimes, we feel we never have a choice, but we do have agency over our own lives and some of the choices that we make, which are quite fundamental as to how we live. Emma, tell me, today, what is your biggest concern in the world, if there were one?
Oh, that we still very easily harm other beings all the time. We don't think it's, you look across the globe, people are fighting each other, killing animals. The basic root of yoga and Buddhism is ahimsa, not to harm. And I think I see that in so many situations, there's no understanding that just please don't harm. And that if that was truly taken to heart, then I think many things would be solved that simple way.
Do you ever feel hopeless about that point? Because it has, in some respects, always been thus. And sometimes the greatest inhumanity, for want of a better word, is humans towards humans. In the animal kingdom, yes, animals will defend themselves or defend their young, but they won't randomly attack one another just for the sake of it. And, if we look back historically, we've always had war, we've always had conflict. It doesn't seem to be improving. How does that make you feel more broadly when you look at this as a big concern?
It doesn't make me feel hopeless, but it does make me wish to be a good example of not being like that. if I can, if it's not easy. I guess I wish there was some global commitment just not to harm, like maybe even just one day, just one day. And there's so many of these days, one day and
Wouldn't that be incredible? Like just one day, put arms down, be kind to other people actively.
yeah, yeah. Wherever in the world, a day of non-harm, if people all committed on that day not to harm any other being, and then see how that felt at the end of the day, see how that felt.
But I love that.